Hi guys, my name is Tim and I'm the co-founder of Preto. And in this video I'm going to show you how to get an idea to market in a very short amount of time with an experiment. In this example we're going to try and test out an idea for renting out rooftops for different occasions. Kind of like Airbnb for rooftops. And what we want to find out is if anybody really is interested in the idea. So first off, what we see here is a closed alpha version of our online prototyping environment called Perry. Perry is a cool new way to define and share ideas, but with a specific focus on experimentation and execution. The focus here is not to discuss the idea itself, but the experiments, tools and resources you're going to use to take it to market. Perry, we're going to first define the premise of our idea, which is the summary of our idea stated as a main hypothesis. It defines what the core of our idea is about. Next, we're going to define one or several main questions which we would need to answer if the premise is to be true. So now that we have defined the idea, we want to get going with building our experiment. As we see here, the Perry system suggests different steps we might take and some tools we could use. First, we need to find a suiting name. Right, so here we are going to use an app called Viable. Viable is a great tool to search for a company name and see if anybody already are using it, has a Facebook page, trademarks or anything like that in the name. And here we are trying out some different options. But as you can see, RoofDing is fairly viable, meaning nobody is already using the name. See, this is our way of doing the innovation, doing things fast. We really don't want to bother with details such as the name, because we don't think the name is vital to our premise. So let's get on with it. The next thing we're going to do is make a logo for our idea. And this is where some people really waste a lot of energy and time making the perfect logo. But we're not going to do that. Imperfect is perfect in our world. So let's make the logo. We'll do that by using a tool called Canva. Canva is a great tool for making graphic designs using templates and readily available design elements. It really helps you design everything from one-pagers, flyers, logos, presentations like a pro, even if you have never designed anything in your life before. And it's really also a great introduction to graphic design as well. So your time is never wasted using Canva. You learn while you experiment. So let's make the logo really quick here. I'm going to speed the video up a bit. So here we are, the RoofDing logo. So the next thing is that we're going to make a simple landing page where interested users can sign up for our new rooftop service in some way. We're doing this to try and measure the initial level of interest. So let's get going with the landing page. To do this, we're going to use something called Instapage. Instapage is a great tool for anyone to make simple landing pages using a ton of different templates, as we see here. So here we're choosing this template. Let's put in our logo. Write some fitting text. What we want is to see if people are looking for a service where they can rent rooftops. Remember, our mission here isn't to make money. This is an investment in exploring the initial interest of our idea and answer vital questions around our premise. So, next thing is to find a fitting image. To do this, we're going to use Pexels. Pexels is a great way to find free visuals. Next thing is to buy a connected domain. We're going to use GoDaddy for this. And then connect the domain. If you're going to do this at home, just follow the guide for connecting a domain that follows on Instapage when you're trying to publish a page. Next thing we want to do is to have some tracking on the site. Instapage automatically shows you how many visitors you had on your site and how many who signed up. This gives you a conversion rate. how many have seen my idea, and how many have reacted to it in a positive way, which gives you a good indication as to how interested people are in it. But what we also want to do is to observe what people are doing when they are interacting with our idea. To do this, we're going to use something called Hotjar. Hotjar is a great tool that lets you view heat maps of your site and actually record visitors so you can see what they're focusing on, when they jump ship, and so on. Let's get this tracking code embedded on the site. If you want to do this by yourself, Hotjar has a great guide on their website. So now we have a functional landing page where people can sign up and they actually start interacting with our idea. It's not perfect, but remember, imperfect is perfect. And we would rather get it out there and learn from it than work on it for weeks, months, or even years. But having the page ready isn't enough. To get this ship sailing, we need to get out there amongst some users. We need to promote it in some way. So, to start off, we need to ask ourselves how people will come in contact with our idea. Is it something they could search for themselves? Or is it something we need to promote directly to them through an ad on Facebook, for example? So in this example, I would actually think people would search for the idea themselves. Maybe they would go on Google and try and search for rent out rooftops or something similar. So, Google AdWords is actually a pretty great way to get people in contact with our idea, because it allows us to direct people to our landing page if they search for specific terms. And we could be wrong in choosing Google AdWords. Maybe people aren't going to search for it themselves. But this isn't really a problem, because we could always try again with another means of reaching our users. This gives a new measurement in that we now can see if people click on our ad on Google, and if a lot of people do that but don't interact on our site, we now know where we should improve. So let's get this ad going. And now let's launch it. So now our ad is running and we have successfully gotten our idea out there. This is just one way of doing it, and there are tons of other ways and techniques to get ideas into reality very cheap and very fast. The goal here is to collect information and gather knowledge around the idea so that we can make it a success, or to find out if it's really that good of an idea. This might look extremely simple, but actually, if you look at something like Airbnb, it is very similar to the setup they started out with. You can get your ideas out there almost immediately, interacting with real customers and exploring the market. And by doing this, even if the idea turns out to be a failure, which most ideas are, by the way, you will have learned so much about the needs and wants of customers. And by using these very simple design and development tools and hacks that I've shown in this video, you will also have learned a lot personally. I've gotten a great introduction to things such as graphic design, website development, and online marketing, which are vital skills to learn if you want to work with innovation or entrepreneurship in today's world. Innovation is all about learning. With that, I want to wish you a great day and happy experimenting. Take risks.